YouTube. Eric DIY here with another great review for you. We're reviewing the Coleman Montana 8-person tent. Quick overview of the Montana 8-person tent. It has the E-port. We need that. You can't have a tent with us, at least unless it has an E-port. It has a special door awning, keep the rain out. Some people said it's good, some other people said, it could be better, but I'm willing to try it. Comes with the included Rainfly. It says snag-free continuous pull sleeves. Has negative angled windows to keep the rain out. Has 2 storage pockets, and it looks like that. Without Rainfly and the back. So without it and with the Rainfly. We also have Maddie and Zach to help us set up the tent. So we're gonna set up this tarp to go underneath as like a camping mat. Tarp is out, time to build the tent. Time to see what's in the box. There is a 1-year warranty. That's the first thing we saw. Inside the bag are the directions. The reason why I went with Coleman, we had really good luck with another Coleman tent, a 6-person. And we still have that one, but I wanted one that was big for car camping. It says lay it out. I don't know if I'm gonna stick it down right away. There's grommets there in the front. That'll be for the awning. We have the rings again and the pins. Clips on the side. We'll attach the Rainfly. Inside that carrying bag was that box with the tent, Rainfly, and other things. And these papers are the 1-year warranty limited. Some people have good luck with it, some people don't. That's what I read. But let's see what we can do with this tent. A little hard to get out of the box. I recommend tipping it over and letting gravity work. We have the poles. The poles are your standard car camping poles here. They're just fiberglass, so they will probably not survive multiple years of use, but who knows, maybe we'll be surprised. The other ones on the other Coleman tent, they lasted about 3 years. It's all fiberglass. This is also fiberglass, it's a different color. They're supposed to be color coordinated as well. We also have the Rainfly itself. The Rainfly is a nice blue color. Blue is my favorite color.
Same.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then the guy lines are just typical lines. You might replace these in a couple of years because our old Coleman tent, they kind of survived a couple of years just like the poles, and then you just replace them. Guy lines are easy to replace though. They come on the Rainfly, which is nice because you don't have to tie them on there. And then we have stakes, which are just your typical Coleman stakes. They're okay. They look like that. They'll hold. There's a little doormat. And then we have the tent itself. Time to build the tent. The front seems to have the WeatherTech thing, and you can see the door in the front, so it makes it easy to know which side is which. Very good. Looks good so far. Try doing this without staking out the corners, like it says in the directions, because again, I want to make sure that these poles do not break. They do have these little connectors for the poles, which is quite interesting. Connect the poles to the tent. We insert 1 pin into the end of the pole, figure 3 and 4. There's really 4 poles. That's what it looks like. 1 there, 1 there. This is an X. And then the other 2. So I'm gonna go for the middle ones first. Those are the longer ones. They mark the long poles with a certain color, and then the side body poles with another. That says gray actually. And then the awning pole is a black short one. So you still have to look at the poles, but I think we can figure it out. Building the main part, the letter X, the main compartment. Now that we have the poles through the top sleeves, that's all it is. I'd be careful putting them through the sleeves because if they catch, they can rip. But when you go slow, you know what you're doing. They're in the little X. We're gonna put the end of the pole, that empty hole, right on top of a pin. And we're gonna do that with all 4 of them. So there's 1 there, 1 over there, and 1 over there. You're gonna take this pole hole, put it in the pin. You're gonna bend it carefully once I tell you to. Carefully. You gotta recenter the tent in the middle like this. Okay, now the pin it. Don't drop it. Just calm down. Alright, Maddie, left go for a second. That's how it looks with just the X supports. The main side body poles are gray, long, and thin. So we're gonna use the gray poles on the sides here to make the tent go out. You slide it through the side here, and then you just have a pin over there and a pin on the other side, and that's how you make the side. That's how you do one of the sides. We're gonna do the other side the same way now, and then we're gonna clip everything and it's gonna hold up. That's how you do a side here. Pretty good, pretty easy. It's gotta be staked out. The reason why I like the Coleman tents, and the reason why I think this is better than the core tent we used before, is that you have the bathtub tarp on the bottom. In other words, it goes like a couple inches above the ground. When we had the Core 9, it leaked like no problem. It even leaked through the Rainfly. But we're gonna stake this out now that we got the main poles going on. The ones that come with the tent look like this, and they're okay stakes, but we're gonna use the Harbor Freight ones. They're a little thicker. They dig right into the ground, and I've used these exclusively on all my tents. We just gotta hammer the stake in. Again, it's helpful to have another person. We're just gonna use this. Not that it's gonna be very windy, but we're gonna do that on all 4 corners first, so that way we have the tent all out. Staked out all 4 corners first, and now we're gonna clip it. Just simply put the plastic clip there and just let it clip inside. We got one on top too. Do that one. Pull this and clip it. No, gotta get it in the hole. Push. I'll get the top one, okay? Okay. All right. Tarp is underneath, and now we have the rings. I'm going to stake out at each of the rings. You're going to need the rings though for the Rainfly as well, so just make sure that you can still access them for a small hook. All right, so we staked them all out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stakes to stake out the tent. And the thing I'm noticing first is, a lot of people say this in reviews too, is the door. You're gonna have to learn how to step over that. The last thing to do is attach the Rainfly. There's an awning pole. You're gonna insert that into the pole sleeve on the underside of the Rainfly. Drape the Rainfly over the tent, and then we're gonna connect the elastic loops. So it's like these big elastic bandings. They're gonna go on the loops that we just put down with stakes. Insert the tips of the awning pole into the grommets, which are those things up there. Take out the guide lines and keep the door zipped to keep the proper tension on the fabric. Without tripping over that door, go in there. Let's check it out. So I tripped over the door, but they did it. It's a pretty good size. It's a little bit smaller than the Core 9, but not much. Still a lot of room. Maddie's falling already. And looks good. Zach is almost as tall as I am. We're about 5'4". I have about a good foot above me. Comes with again a light attachment here and 2 pockets. I wish there was a gear loft, I will say that. You gotta step over that though, big time. That's gonna be your one thing, but by having the tarp go up more, I think you're gonna avoid a lot of leakage in the tent, because our other Coleman has done pretty well. We've also put that one through storms as well in the past. Front of the Rainfly has the blue, and you see where the awning pole goes in, it's red, so that's probably why they gave you the red tape. That's when they made my color coordinated. It's nice to see the double seaming here, the weatherproofing. Again, we've had pretty good luck with the Coleman brand in the past, so that's why we went with this one. We're gonna put the pole through the Rainfly first, and then get this thing on top of the tent. Put the awning pole again with the red tape through the red awning, and we slide it through carefully. Right about there, that would be the front of the Rainfly. We need to get the back on there, so we have to make this go over the other side of the tent. Take that pole, Jack, get it over the tent. Ready? That pole and the last little pin, and Maddie's gonna make sure that the Rainfly's in the middle. Zach, go ahead, put it in the last pin. And there you go, that's gonna hold it up. And that makes the awning stand up. It's gonna have to make sure the Rainfly is in the middle of the pole. There you go, keep going until it's the same. Yeah, keep going a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. There you go, done. And now we just have to attach the little hooks underneath the rings in the front, and they're right on the bottom right here. Underneath the Rainfly, you have Velcro tabs, and they're gonna go on the poles. And as you do that, you're gonna fit the Rainfly over the poles, over this part, and gets over the screened-in part. And you gotta do that all over the Rainfly. The guy lines seem to be at their longest right now, so we're just gonna shorten it up here. This one guy line brings out the Rainfly over here. So we just pull this out. So there's the guy lines. Again, using their stakes. And again, I like this interesting design again. They have one guy line going across. That's one guy line. And then they tie one around. And that's what you tie down for both of those. But let's go take a look inside the tent. You have unzippable side windows, so you can close them up in case it rains. They said that this overhang so the rain doesn't go down, but I can see the rain kind of going down there. I did it as taut as I could with the guideline, but gives you an idea of that. You have all this screened in part for ventilation. This over here as well, and it's just the same window over here. Again, you can tie it down right over here. If you want a little looking out of the tent, you have two side pockets, one there and one there. It should protect more against water. That's what I like about the Coleman tents, is that they have the bathtub tarp material on the bottom, so that way it goes up a couple more inches. There's your E port right there. I'm gonna stick an extension cord out there. I do wish on first things that I had a ventilation port there, but this has a lot of open area here to get in. It's very spacious, very easy to stand up in the middle if you're getting changed or whatever, and it's supposed to fit 3 queen mattresses, which it probably could, but we're going to use sleeping pads. It will fit 3, and I know it will. By looking at it, it will fit 3 queen mattresses on the floor. You could literally take one side of the tent for sleeping, and the other side of the tent, you could set up some chairs or whatever you wanted over there. Bought an 8-person again, so that way we had more space. They have a place to hang a lamp. Let's do the door now, so we get the full effect. As far as the door, there are 2 poles. There's a smaller one, and there's a bigger one. The smaller one's going to go through here and go straight down, so that will hold this out more. And then on either end there's these little things where they just stick in. There's one on the bottom as well, right there. Then we're going to stick the bottom of the pole in there, and then we have the big round loop, which we're going to do in a second. This is how you do the side one. They have a zipper too, so it makes it a little easier. I would recommend putting the bottom in first and then doing the top, because when I was doing it the opposite way, it's a little harder. We're going to fit that big one down through this sleeve through the door and fit it onto the bottom on there. So camp in it tonight. It looks like I could pull it out a little bit more on this side, honestly, so I might do that. I might unstake the corners and just pull it out. So we're inside the tent for the night. There's Zach. Lots of space here. We have 3 sleeping pads down here. Maddie's over there.
What?
Hi. And there's tons of space in this tent. We got everything going on here, but wonderful new tent fan light. I like it a lot. You could definitely fit 3 queen beds in here. You'll probably be taking up most of the room, but we have like backpacks. Each kid has a backpack they put all their camping stuff in. I brought my backpack because I just store all my stuff there no matter what. And yeah, we have the tent pretty much lit up everywhere, but tons of room. We camped out for the night with the tent. We left it up for a day or 2 also, just to see how it would fare. We didn't really have any bad weather, so I won't attest to that, but I can tell you with these guidelines that nothing has slipped or anything like that. Things that I've seen while camping with this. One, the door is useful to have, but the Velcro on the door does not line up that well with the Velcro on the edge here. So it's not going to be bug proof or anything like that, but it makes it a lot easier for getting out of the tent. Also, this is a big, huge step up with the bathtub flooring there. So you do want to remind kids and other people that you need to step over this big time to get in the tent. As far as the tent itself, I'm surprised on the ventilation. We put the windows up when we were sleeping here. Overnight it was about 54 degrees. It got a little bit cold, believe it or not, in the tent. So, but ventilation was no problem at all. Again, I would like to see a window back here and a venting capability there on the floor like I see in other tents, but I guess they have an elite model of this which has LED lighting and a window. I think it is. I don't think it has a ventilation port, but ventilation overall was pretty good even without that. So I'm very happy with the tent. I'm very happy with my purchase. Maddie slept there, tons of space in the middle. I slept here, and Zach slept over there. It definitely does fit 8 people shoulder to shoulder. That means on the floor with pads and stuff like that. So if you have a family of 4 like I have, this is going to be a pretty comfortable tent. We'd probably set up 2 queen beds, and you'd still have a third of the tent to store things. We've left this out for a while. We have not waterproofed it or anything. We're just going with stock, what comes to you. I will say that this came in very handy. This is an awesome fan and light for a tent this big. But let's see how this holds up to rain. Tent is bone dry on the inside. On the outside, I sprayed a little bit on that side, but then it wasn't long enough, so I'm going to use this side now. And we're just going to spray from above. Give it a little rain test. And if I'm looking at the rainfall, this would be about a steady rain. I wouldn't say torrential, but I'd say steady rain. So we're gonna spray this for a couple minutes here and see what happens. We even spray a little direct on the Rainfly. It seems to be just going right off that Rainfly. The windows are closed on the sides as well, because we'd probably do that. It does look to be beating and pulling off the Rainfly. Supposedly Coleman tests these tents for up to 35 mile per hour winds and also rainfall. And it's supposed to fail the test, I think, if it gets more than 2 tablespoons of water in the tent. Our last tent failed the rain test in real rain. Luckily we were just at home. So this is why I like to test this at home too, before I would take it out anywhere. I'll leave a link in the description below to the review, but I don't recommend it. It doesn't hold up. And the water that was let in went right through the Rainfly. Kids came home! So I'm gonna spray them down while they're on the inside. They have a camera inside?
Yep.
I have the camera outside. Here we go! Are you getting wet?
Nope, we're not getting wet whatsoever.
That's what I'm asking. That's important. You need to let me know. Are you hearing the rain?
Rain the door.
Are you getting wet?
No, I'm not getting wet whatsoever.
Give me up for a couple more minutes. That has to be at least a couple of hours. We are going to check inside the tent. They're coming out of the tent. And I was trying to be really careful with the door. You could see that it did get wet outside the door, but not inside. And this is right after, so we're gonna look at it again. I don't see any water, but we'll check in the sides just on first views. No water. And the tent seems to hold up. I'm looking up too as well. You can see the water bubbling up there, but it has not entered the tent. Okay, it's been a couple minutes and I'm not seeing any rain there. We're gonna look around the edges because that's usually where it collects. I see it on the outside, but not the inside. Nothing in the corner. That's usually another area where it collects. This corner as well. No rain, no water. It's looking pretty good as of now. And the seams here are where it also collects usually. Let's check this corner over here. No rain. No rain at all. Let's check the screen. Because surprisingly in our old tent, it came right through the Rainfly. I don't see anything, to be honest with you. And this is without waterproofing. You waterproof this, you're gonna be totally golden. But I'm feeling pretty good about my chances right now. So the rain test is successful. But remember, we had everything closed. Even the E-port, the door, it was zippered, and the windows. Let's see what happens when we have the windows open. All right, we're gonna test the sides now with the windows open. The windows are small little windows on the sides. So we'll see if any rain comes in. He's gonna let me know immediately if any water comes in. Here we go, Zach. Anything?
Not yet.
Anything?
Nope.
I don't think we'll let water in. We have the windows all the way open. Other side. All right, any water come in at all?
Doesn't look like it.
Focusing on the windows now, there are little droplets here. And that just dropped off the window. So I would say keep the windows closed, but it does keep the water out somewhat. I definitely would still keep this closed though. Let's check this side. Not so much here, surprisingly. But if you have wind, the water's probably definitely gonna come into the tent a little bit. Does it block a little bit? Sure it does. It was totally dry before that, and it's still dry except for the window. Overall, the Coleman Montana 8-person tent has been pretty good to us. Can't wait to test it out in the wild. And it's big, it's 16 feet by 7 feet. Pros and cons about the Coleman Montana 8-person tent. Pros, seem to keep the water out. I like that it has the bathtub flooring because I think that helps out a lot. It's Coleman, And I've had good luck with Coleman in the past. I like the little portico in the entrance. They put some chairs there if you wanted to, and this and that. Overall, spacious. The space is what you buy this for. Relatively easy to set up. You definitely want to set it up and practice it before you go out anywhere with it. The guidelines and stuff seem to be really strong with it. Again, it is a car camping tent. This is not something that is going to go out there in your backpack. The E-port works great. In fact, I kind of like that they made it a little smaller because you just have to stick a cable through there. Cons about the Coleman Montana 8-person tent. No back window. The windows they do have are small. The door window is nice and there's no ventilation port. The door is functional, but the problem is that it doesn't seal well against the tent. It's a pro in that the door opens easier to get people out of the tent. It's a con in the fact that you can't leave it just as a door without the zippers. You have to zipper it up each time if you want bugs to not go in the tent. And that is our review of the Coleman Montana 8-person tent. We like it overall, correct?
Yep.
All right, and they're not just saying that. They actually did like sleeping in it. It's big, it's spacious. It keeps the rain out. It's an awesome buy. If you would like to purchase your Coleman Montana 8-person tent, look for a link in the description below. While you're down there, also click on the bell notification icon and leave a comment. So that way you can be notified of future Eric DIY video releases. We'll leave a link in the description below and we'll send you to Amazon. You can purchase your very own. Every purchase will help support the Eric DIY channel. We appreciate all your support. We just want to say thank you and have a great day. As always, if you like this video, found it useful, please subscribe. And if you have a product that you would like reviewed, please contact Eric by emailing him at eric5150diy@gmail.com. Have a great day.